that it's about, and feels solid as a rock doing it. Like any modern Porsche, but with a hell of a lot more character. If you love classic cars, then Donald loves you. I'm driving what is, without a doubt, my favorite Mustang of all time. I guess technically speaking, it's not a Mustang, because this is a 1965 Shelby GT350. Just as we spoke in the video when I drove the Mustang Boss 429, it was hard to believe and easy to believe that the Mustang, of course, is the development of the Ford Falcon. When you drive a GT350, there's not one memory of a Falcon that can come to mind, except perhaps the race-prepared Falcon Sprints that did so well in rallies and in touring car races in the UK and Europe. All those people who think that what Carroll Shelby and the team at Shelby American did with the Cobra was simply stuff the Ford V8 into the AC Ace and call it a day, of course, couldn't be more wrong. And it's even more true when it comes to this car. What this car has in common with most 1965 Ford Mustangs is the way it looks. This is a car that, without a doubt, has been fully and thoroughly re-engineered by the great Phil Remington and the rest of the folks at Shelby American. This is a true American GT car. It's got all of the grunt that you expect from an American car. That easy power on demand and power in reserve. But it also handles. This is a real wood-rimmed wheel, not a wood-style rimmed wheel. And it's connected to a steering geometry and a steering box that gives immediate response. In the movie Grand Prix, one of my favorite movies, James Garner plays the American driver Pete Ahrens. And of course, what does Pete drive when he's not driving a Formula One car? He drives a Shelby Mustang. And this is the kind of car that makes me immediately feel a little bit like Pete Ahrens or any of the real-time great heroes that drove for Shelby American. As a road car, it's rather extreme, admittedly, but it's also a hell of a lot of fun. Not a lot of suspension travel, but there is surprisingly good compliance. This is a fairly bumpy road, and yet the car never feels like it wants to break loose. And that's a good feeling to have when you've got this kind of power at your disposal. It also, quite fortunately, has very good brakes. I just love the turn-in. The turn-in is just so wonderful. Nothing like a thin wood-rimmed wheel. This is motoring. And of course, this wonderful side exit exhaust that delivers the song of this engine right to my ear. That's true in-car entertainment. Like a good American V8 should, this car delivers nice power and nice response way down in the rev range. Here around 3,000 RPM, you get great instant response. And just has this sound that is quintessentially US V8, but also very sophisticated. I mean, this is a sound that wouldn't be out of place in a racing Jaguar or a Maserati. It's got a nice deep sound, and it's very mechanical. You know this is a mechanical device. The example we're driving today from the Audrain collection has a race-prepared engine, so it likes to be on it. It doesn't like to dawdle around 2,500 3,000 RPM. It really wants to live a bit higher, and the clutch, of course, on a car like this is quick, not meant to be slipped. It's meant to make your decision, select your gear, and get on about it. The work that Shelby American did as well in chassis tuning is also added to the work they did in stabilizing the body. This feels much more solid and much less flexible than any standard production Mustang. And that's really where it makes a difference, so you can actually exploit the performance this car has. I had the great fortune of sitting next to Carroll Shelby at a dinner at the Detroit Auto Show when they were introducing the Cobra concept car that Chris Theodore and his team created back around 2004. It was an amazing car, amazing dinner, and Shelby was there at the table with his wife, and I certainly couldn't pretend to have known the man at all. He was a great storyteller, a great character. He said what he had to say about whatever he wanted to say. He had earned the right, God knows, and it was just so amazing to be in the presence of somebody that created something like this car. And he always had that passion, and the passion of a racer. Remember the fact that Carroll Shelby was somebody who won Le Mans in an Aston Martin, drove Ferraris, Maseratis. He was a sports car guy, and he knew about speed, power, and control. So the cars he developed were all about that. And you can feel the spirit, energy, and brain of this man and the team he put together every minute you drive this car. Driving this after driving the Boss 429, it's readily apparent the difference between a car that's a total package and a car that's all about power. The Boss 429 is a neat piece for what it is, but it can't hold a candle to this car. This isn't the first GT350 I've driven, and it certainly won't be the last. I can honestly say that I am a Mustang guy, and this is the ultimate of the breed. This car is so Donald Osborne. I love it.